I've been wanting to make content like this for a very long time, to break down the strategy, the tactics, and the mindset behind some of the most successful artists in the world, which is exactly what I do every single Monday in my community, the 100K Hitmakers. And with the group of artists that I coach, I break down the content ideas, the release rollouts, and the execution that makes great artists great. And so one of the interesting releases I've seen recently is from Russ. He's done a deluxe waterfall strategy. So I'm explaining exactly what that means, how you can do it for yourself, and the nuances of how he did it. And like, Russ is one of my favorite rappers. And so I've always appreciated the way he rolls out content. And so first of all, I just want to just show you how it looks on Spotify, right? A deluxe waterfall strategy. And so if I load up his account, you can see 12 million monthly listeners. And then he's put out the deluxe, the elephant and the rider, right? So if I go to the albums, he's deleted the single version of the album, right, with just the 10 tracks, and he keeps re-releasing it with new tracks. So it will say it was only released 10th of October, but really the album came out like the back end of August, even mid-September, and then he's constantly adding to it. So what he does is he takes from User Guide was track 1 in the project, I believe. Or no, Go Up was track 1 in the project. And so tracks 5 to 22 was the actual album. Every time he releases a new song, it's first track on the album. And then you autoplay into the rest of the tracks. And so because it's seen as a new release, it hits your release radar. And then it goes on to get a lot of streams on the hyped song that he's using social media content to build up narratives to, and then it auto plays through the back catalog. Then a few weeks later, he drops a new release, which might be recognized with Jesse Blakemore, right? That then goes to the top of people's news feeds and release radars, and it goes to everywhere where they're getting content, and then it spirals that song really quickly to multiple millions of plays. Drops another song a few weeks later with Big Sean, and another song again. And the social media content is the secret. So we're going to get into that. But that's what I mean when I say a deluxe waterfall strategy. He dropped the project, then he's dropping follow-up singles as part of the project. Now, the secret how to do it, it's not that hard, is you take the ISRC codes from your distributor, whether that's DistroKid or whomever you're with, and you paste those numbers in. And that retains all your plays and your playlists and everywhere your song's been featured. And your new songs that have not been released, you leave it blank. So it generates an ISRC code. So now let's look at the actual content, right? So 4.8 million followers. I think this is amazing because Russ does a mixture of high-end content and kind of professional-looking content, right? So here's an example of like recreating the day he recorded the verse.
Girl, you're who I'm spending cash on daily. That's not crazy. Everything you do, I be like, that's my baby. Peanut butter skin tone, rolling on your wrist bone. Your hip bone's connected to my hands and my chin bone.
Right? So the side angle of his recording studio. But then he'll also do it from the front angle as well.
It don't matter who's looking, cause I'm not looking, cause I want you. I only want you. Listen, yeah. It don't matter who's looking.
And so this is kind of his examples of a lo-fi content, just in his recording space, which we know is in his house. He's been using this location for years. He genuinely makes the songs there. So he makes content there while he's recording. But then he also do a lot of high-end content as well. I think this is where it gets interesting, right? And so an example of that would be this.
Silk scarf, lip gloss, skin all moisturized. I'm all about you, baby. I'm feeling like Lloyd tonight. Pride is null and void tonight. From the Midwest, soft spoken, but you trying to make some Illinois tonight. I can hear you.
Right, and look at this background here, right? If you were paying attention, see that's artwork of the song. So he's painted it as a mural, and then he's made content in that space, which is crazy. He's doing a typical colors style hanging microphone performance, which I think is genius, right? And again, he adds a lot of storytelling in the caption. And so you can see his personality, you can see his style, you can feel like he's speaking to you. It's not a chat GPT rewrite, right? But then he'll also do other high-end content like this.
I be in my head, chasing my own tail. Gotta step into the light, bitch, my face is getting pale. All this bread up on my plate, but my soul is getting stale. Gotta find a new haven, probably.
You see how dynamic it is, that the jump cuts, it's constantly changing. It's not a one-take performance. He'll cut and use a different angle just to keep the edit interesting. But then he pairs that kind of high-end content. It must take some crazy clamp or magnetic tripod to pull this off. He pairs that with TikTok native content. So it doesn't feel like there's effort in it. It doesn't feel like it's overly premium. It feels like it's casual. And so I like the juxtaposition of those two. Right? And then he goes to a more like parked car kind of performance. But again, lots of jump cuts here as well.
I be in my head, chasing my own tail. Gotta step into the light, bitch, my face is getting pale. All this bread up on my plate, but my soul is getting stale. Gotta find a new haven, probably could've gone to Yale. I've been biting on my nails.
Right, and again, the headline is a song about being humbled by God. So it's not overly like marketing at you. You feel like it's just good content. And now you want to go to Instagram, you want to go to Spotify, you found out the name that's in the content. Right? And so this is Russ's blueprint, right? So for every time he drops a record, he'll do like 5 or 6 low-key performances of different timestamps of the song. He'll test the part of the verse where he's got a key punchline. He'll test part of the chorus where he's got the catchy hook. Then he'll test, a different song. So he'll keep things interesting and not focus too long on one record. Then he'll come back to that record in the future.
I still care for you. Yeah. Okay, he's gotten her a lot, but she could tell he doesn't get it. Trips and gifts, but she just wants him to be present. Accepting it cause she just trying to keep the peace. But she disrespects herself the more she lets him be beneath her standards.
Really easy. The cameraman is following him rather than putting on a tripod for a little bit of dynamic movement. So that sway keeps it interesting and makes you want to keep watching. And so this is the Russ playbook, like the way he does these very clear, repeatable content streams. He'll just stand by a car, he'll stand by a wall, he'll do a hanging microphone. Like you can see he's world building here. Like, even just looking at his feed, like you see the whole tour is about the baseball shirts, the silk scarf, which is all part of his merch. He's wearing his hair down a lot more. He's pushing his new shampoo and hair care line, Palermo, right? And so there's a world that he's building in the content. And you see how far back we're scrolling and we're still pushing every single stop of the tour. Every single track off the album is being pushed, right? And so what's brilliant about the way he markets, I think, in the first weekend of his album release, he posted over 20 pieces of content. Whereas most man will be saying, like, I dropped 1 on release day, 1 on the Saturday, 1 on the Sunday, 3 bits of content. He dropped 20, guys, in a Friday, Saturday, Sunday period, right? And so I want you just to see the volume is like outpacing the opportunity of luck. So he's proving like he's gonna make it successful no matter what by delivering more than anyone else would dare deliver. And that's the main takeaway for me, is that just the way he markets this music. Look, you see all these different aesthetics here. So
I've been handcuffed to your fears for years. Wiped out, but I still wipe your tears. You spiral and I spiral with you. It's not your fault, I'm in a cycle with you.
Really easy, like simple zoom in effect. He's sitting on a chair with a net curtain, right? Easy effect.
I'm navigating internal chaos. Don't get a day off. Sometimes I feel dead inside. Self-talks feel like a seance.
Again, just by a blank wall and next to a car, you can barely even see what vehicle it is.
Pack a bag, girl, we in it for the long haul. You don't trip when I get busy like Sean Paul. Overseas, hoping you never get over me. Wrote a couple books, now you got me writing poetry on my...
Right, again, this one's more of a storytelling piece. So he's showing himself like shot in a museum, right? And then he's showing himself like giving the energy and giving the charisma to the lady who's a model in the video, right?
I can't save you because it shields you from the reality of your decision making. I'm a lifeline, not a hotline. I need boundaries and individuation because I'm wrapped up.
Right. So again, storytelling comes back in here. You got a couple arguing, and he's kind of like this out of body experience, like a conscience speaking to the couple arguing, right? As like an inner thought, right? And it's kind of like older characters. So he's kind of shows like potentially his mom and dad. It could actually be his mom and dad, right? And so yeah, it's the fact mom and dad really here, not actors. I love this, right? So again, I can call it before I even know it's true. right? Other bits of content.
Yeah, my younger self loved getting drunk, but he misunderstood it. He made his living handle anything his heart just couldn't. I started looking for myself, my compass constantly would spin. A smart man looks around, a wise man looks within, yeah.
Again, so simple jump cuts. The guitar was the one thing that kept moving, and loads of different takes, and then cut between all the takes. If you have consistent lighting and you're doing the same performance at the same depth of distance from the camera, you can cut in every single word like he's doing there. So you see, again, the playbook by Russ is simple. It's high-end content mixed in with that lo-fi authenticity, and it's a really easy playbook to replicate. And so I want you to try the same. I want you to see how you're going to map out multiple pieces of content for every song. Content for the verse, content for the chorus, content for verse 2, and more. And if you need some help, I got you. I've put together a document called the Campaign Planner, which is end-to-end how you can release a song and put it out with content ideas, proven frameworks, tactics, strategies, mindset, and more. And you can grab it completely free. Just head to the link in the description below, pop in your email address, and you'll get a copy instantly. But stay tuned for more breakdowns like this.